After watching Katie's last video on how Vancouver flourishes in the ever-present rain, I couldn't help but think of Freiburg's most impressive building, the Münster, or Cathedral. Ever since its initial construction in the early 13th century, it has been under constant renovations for either architectural additions or, the general maintenance that a few centuries of wind and rain demands. There's one thing in particular about this building, though, that makes me think of it in the rain. It's one of the gargoyles. Now, there are a few stories on why this figure exists, and of course, not everyone appreciates it. But, in my opinion, I think it's just great. Beside the cathedral, you can see some of the mountains that surround Freiburg, and from there, you can see more on the other side of the city. Being in a valley like this means that it also rains quite a bit in Freiburg, with clouds getting trapped in between the mountains. Even when the city is dry and sunny, moisture accumulates in the peaks above with only one place to go: down into the streets of Freiburg. That's why most streets in the city have these canals running alongside them that rise tremendously during a downpour or flow by lazily in the sun. It's an attractive solution to a potentially destructive problem. Take my home, Prince Edward Island, for example. It is steadily being washed away by the tides at its shores. The water pouring down into Freiburg has similar potential for erosion. It's a lot easier to protect and decorate a city with canals and fountains than it is to shelter a whole island, though, that's for sure. The presence of little canals and fountains like this contributes substantially to the soundscape of Freiburg. After hearing the occasional rumble of streetcars, the frantic music of buskers and pedestrians, or the ubiquitous clanging of the Münster's large bells, you're just left with the comforting white noise of water trickling by harmlessly. One of the first times I consciously noticed this calming sound was walking over these bridges on my way to class and finding myself by an urban waterfall, beautifully tucked under the trees and vines at the base of one of my university's buildings. The water can be a little more colorful with rubber ducks like these, or toy boats on strings that I sometimes see kids strolling through the streets with. Kids don't have all the fun, though. I've seen a few groups of friends chilling beverages in the cool water before enjoying the nightlife of Freiburg, and often there will be hand-holding couples wandering around with the water by their feet. Romantics say that if you misstep and dunk your foot in one of these rivulets, you're destined to marry a Freiburger. But I'm sure that's only said because when you're too Twitter-pitted or caught up in the beauty of Freiburg itself to watch your step, you're bound to end up falling in love with the place and wanting to stay for a good long time. I think water's a neat thing to get on video to get a sense of the dynamic flowing nature of it, but not everything that makes Vancouver and Freiburg great requires video to appreciate. For the month of October, Katie and I will be posting pictures of our city's statues, like this crocodile here, on Vancouver's Google Plus page. If you have any statue pictures you'd like to contribute, that's the place to do so. It'd also be a good spot to brainstorm a punishment for me for being a day late with this video.